This episode I'm going to be installing my unwin rails and installing the rear travel seats. Yes guys, welcome back. This is episode 2 of our Citroen Relay van build. So today's episode is going to be about the rear travel seats. Basically, the last van that I was donated some rear travel seats, and it had the unwin rails with them as well. So I had the whole kit. This one now, I bought some seats off the marketplace on Facebook, and they never come with unwin rails or anything like that. So I've measured to see where I can put them, but unfortunately underneath where I want them, it's the exhaust and everything. I can't get behind to do the bolts or anything like that. So rather than going down the route of trying to get some new seats or anything like that, because of how cheap these ones were, I decided to pay the extra and go for the unwin rails. Now the unwin rails are basically a bar. It's a track with loads of grooves, and then that sits flat on the floor, and then in this track here is where the seats fit into, and you lock them in and they are secure. And then to lock them in, you use something like this. There are different ones, but the type of seats that I've got, I was limited to which ones I could use. These are not cheap. These were just over £100 for a pair. You literally do pay for what you get. They are good quality, but not ideal. The track, you can buy it from 30 centimeters up to 2 meters. You can buy loads. I was looking on the marketplace to see if I could get some of this out of an old rip out on a van, but there's none within the local area, and the price it would have cost me in fuel and time to go and pick some up from further away, I might as well just bought brand new. So a set of the unwin rails were about 60 quid, and these were about just over £100. But through eBay, it said take X amount off, so I had I think I saved about £8 or £9 through the offers on there. Then I went through Top Cashback and saved another couple of quid. So I managed to save about 10 or £12 in total. But these make rear travel seats a lot easier to install, because there's that many holes on this. There's loads of different holes, and you can fix all these to the floor. But say for instance, if I wanted that down and I want my seat here, but underneath here is the exhaust or anything like that, so I can't get to it, instead of screwing here, put bolts in these ones and then leave them two out, put bolts in them ones. Not ideal, but that is still going to be secure. I've paid the extra for a longer one because when it comes to the unwin rails, I like to have the seat as far up the front as possible. So the front leg would be about these two here, these three. That would be the front leg, and the back leg over here. And then I've got like four or five holes for bolts to secure it to the rear of the seat, because if you're in a crash, everything's going to go forward. So I like the idea of having loads of fixing points at the back to secure it, because that's going to want to come forward with the weight. So that's my idea, that's my theory, so that's how I do it. But another good thing with these, you can move the van, you can move the seats forward, backwards, quick release, take them out if you don't need them in there, or if you need the room for something else. They make it a lot simpler, so they are definitely worth the money. Like now with the seats I've got, I would have had to have got rid of these and bought some new seats that I could have altered, or altered the whole van layout to try and rig up where I can put them so they're not affecting anything underneath the van. But I don't want to do that because I know I've got a bigger van now than last time, but that space is designated. So behind the seats, I want to get fixed bunk beds across the side, and then our double bunk bed at the back, our double bed at the back. So for the bunk beds, I need 1.6 meters, so 160 centimeters. Where the seats can go without the rails, I've got 120 maximum. That's the problem. So it does alter your layout, and this can help. So this episode, I'm going to be installing my unwin rails and installing the rear travel seats, because at least then once they're in, I can do measurements, make sure everything that I want to do fits. If not, I can go back to another plan. So the idea is fix bunk beds, so we don't have to keep making the kids' beds up each night and taking them away, because originally on the last two vans we had bunk beds across the rear travel seats at the front. Perfect, excellent space saver, and I would always recommend that if anybody is tight on space. And if you want to see them layouts, then check our playlists for the other two van builds that we've done. Two different bunk beds designs on there, which I haven't seen anywhere else before, and they work and they are perfect, really good. But now I want to get fixed beds. My son's older, so he's pretty much my height now. I'm a short ass and he's pretty much my height now, so he needs 160 centimeters to be able to lie comfortably. Spoken to him, he's happy to have it a bit shorter if need be, but I'd rather have them have comfort in this van. So that's my plan. So let's get these down. So these are the seats that we've gone for. Nice, decent size one. The kids are happy with these. I'm going to get these reupholstered, so get them a nice colour which matches the rest of the van. But yeah, I might just clean them up because they are nice and tidy, to be fair. Good thing about these legs is on the rails you can loosen these and slide them across the bar to fit wherever you want them, which is perfect. So the plan is unwin rails, run them on top of the ridges, so you got the dips and then the higher raised sections on the floor. So I'm going to fit them onto there, because this is where my battens for the insulation is going to go as well. So the higher they are, the better. Plus it builds up the seat, because when you sat there it's quite low in comparison to the front ones. So we'll have this height and also that height as well, because these seats, the legs will fit on top of this. So this will be connected to the bottom of the legs on the seat. So that's a nice view, about 2 inches, an extra 2 inches height. I'm going to use the existing holes that are in the van just to find out where everything is underneath the van. So I can go underneath the van now. I'll put a pencil in here like that, lean it up, go underneath the van, and then from there I can work out my measurements, everything. Underneath here is one of the main supports of the van, which is good. So running the beam across that is good, because it's not just on one panel section, which would be weak. It's running across the main support at the bottom of the van, so that would help. So you can see how much further back the actual legs, the unwin rails, are going to be in comparison to the legs. It gives extra support for the seats if we was ever to be in a crash. So the first rail is going in now. I started with the first hole, and I've put the bolt into there, and then I marked the second one, and just so each time the bar doesn't move. So each time I put a hole, bolt goes straight in just to keep it in place. So now I need to line up the second track to make sure it's equal with the first one. Because of the pattern in the track, if they are slightly out on each leg, then the one will clip on, but then the other one will be loose, it won't clip on. So I need to make sure the circles are equal on both sides. So I've tried to measure from the back and from along here, but I keep getting different readings and it looks out. So what I've done is I've got a set square. I've ran it along the straight edge of this one and then across the front, and there we go. So that now is equal to each other, so I shouldn't, fingers crossed, have any issues with them not lining up. So now I can start drilling these ones in. So there we go, both rails are now got the holes ready. So simply take these out now, give everything a sweep. The holes that I've done, I'll use the Hammerite rust protection on them. So both rails are now in, and I've now got the locks connected to the legs. I just need to fully bolt these, but I was waiting for the Torx kit to come. So at least now I can fully bolt them into place, and these are completely secure to the locks. And with the quick release lock, you simply lift this up, same as the one on the other end. I can't do it now because I'm holding the phone, and you can roll it down the track or just take it off the track. So it definitely helps rather than having completely fixed in seats. So that's all done. These here, I've managed to bolt all of them apart from, I think it's 2. One of them I was able to used a couple of self drilling screws on them to completely fix them. And then all along the top I used Sikaflex as extra support. But yeah, as you can see, that's the front. All these are bolted in, which means I've got more support there if there ever was an accident or to slam my brakes on and the seats want to come forward. I've got all this extra support bolted down to help. So that's the way I like to go, rather than having a little bit of unwin rail for the seats. It just gives that extra peace of mind guarantee. So now I can actually work off there where the bunk beds are going to go, and sofa bed at the back. One more job down, onto the next one, which is windows and solar panels, batteries, diesel heater, everything. Literally everything is going on at the moment. I've got little bits here and there. Obviously I needed the solar panels on because I wanted to get the roof done, and then I needed to check the solar panels worked, so I had to get the batteries in, hook the batteries up to the solar panel just to make sure all that works. And then the diesel heater, I want to get that in because it's cold. So it's not fun when you're building in the winter. So ideally I want to try and get all the insulation done as well and make it warmer in here, because once I get the diesel heater on, I'm going to get condensation on the roof. So it's a bit of everything at the moment. It's all the videos. You'll see different things in each of the videos that I've started and I haven't finished. Story of my life. So the next one will be the solar panels. I've done a little bit of tinkering around, just so if I need to move the batteries, I can literally unhook the solar panels. So that is the simplest way to set up rear travel seats in a van. If you can get away with using unwin rails, I definitely would recommend it. It does cost that a little bit extra, but it's definitely worth it if you're tight on space or tight on where you can actually fix underneath the van. So this has definitely helped us, this van and the previous vans. I'll add links in the comments below to the rails and the locks for the legs. But if you are struggling on where and how to lay out and stuff like that, that is what you need. I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to message me any questions regarding it. So it is absolutely freezing, it's -2 outside. Feel free to like and follow, subscribe if you want to see more videos on the van build. I have done a previous video on unwin rail quick release seats. I'll add that somewhere around here at the end of the video. But yeah, thank you for watching, hope this helps, and see you on the next video.